As long as you have real strength in wishing what you're wishing and you put a lot of energy behind it, it happens.
I met Sandeep V. Dandekar with a personal agenda but ended up learning so much more. He's an author with a strong corporate background of about 40 years, fondly called the corporate monk. Today he's mentoring young founders and CXOs with a belief of fulfilling a higher purpose. Let's ask this new age monk, what's the code to balance corporate culture with eternal peace? I believe that you do a lot of work just pro bono. What is in it for you?
Because I get a very strong calling that my time to live for myself is over now. That now I have to live for others. I essentially pick up those founders who do not come from favorable background. They do not have in their close ecosystem anybody who will handhold. If they go to a professional mentor, they'll say, these are my fees. From where are they going to pay these fees? It's like killing a chicken before it is born.
आप जब इन founders को pick करते हैं, what is it that you look for in them?
Why do they want to become founders? Why do they want to do startup? And if I get one single plain answer that they want a lot of wealth very early, then I do not work with them. Nothing against strong in material prosperity, as I said. But if they see that along with my growth, I am seeing growth of many other facets of society. I want to help ecosystem grow with me.
But do you think just the drive to make a lot of money is not the right way to start a business?
Nothing wrong, but that's not my calling.
But how important is it to be passionate about the idea that you want to build?
Extremely important, because you will get denials, refusals from all your stakeholders. Your first customer will be extremely difficult, second will be little less difficult, third will be little lesser difficult. Your first 1, 2, 3 investors are going to be very difficult. You will have to meet 100 investors. 99 of them will not say yes.
How do you know that right now this is my madness, too much passion, and no, this is now where I should draw the line?
Of gut, it has to be very, very strong gut combined with rationality. Child that today sets out to play cricket, everybody wants to be Virat Kohli and Tendulkar and Kapil Dev and Gavaskar. How many of them become? But does it mean that no child should see that dream? But that dream actually is going to create many other players. If they don't become, they will at least become Pandyat.
But what about people who are not getting that balance? What is the kind of risk that they should, calculate?
Till the time you are able to do what you love, you also have to learn to love what you're doing. Everybody may not be able to do what they love every day. इतनी तो आसान जिंदगी तो नहीं हो सकती है ना.
But isn't that a compromise then?
No, it's a way of looking at it. Why would you call it a compromise? If you see women 30 years back, 50 years back and today, they are a lot different. They are far more confident, they are far more fired up.
Does that help a business, or is that... How do you understand that this is my space?
I will never give up in some situations is not a right strategy.
Oh, good morning. Well, Zen, what is that?
I hope you will soon be my first woman.
I'm going to talk to you right now. Cut. Welcome to Candid Confessions with Chhavi.
Thank you so much.
आप मानेंगे नहीं, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब हम लाइफ में किसी चीज़ के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे होते हैं ना, तो somehow the universe forces just collect and introduce you to the right people, and it's so last minute that I got introduced to you because आप एक ऐसे इंसान हैं जो young founders को help करते हैं और मैं एक young founder बनना चाहती हूँ. I don't know if I'm young enough, but we'll talk about that also. But as a founder, surely. Absolutely young, because मुझे इस इंडस्ट्री में कुछ ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. तो इमेजिन आप मेरे रास्ते में आए और हम लोग मिले, and now next thing I know, I'm actually going to ask you all the questions that I want to.
Exciting. What a pleasure to hear that from you, and it will be an absolute honor and pleasure if I could be of any use to you during your journey or of value to you.
Oh, I'm going to really take advantage of you.
And I completely agree with you that वो हमेशा कहते हैं ना कि अगर कुछ दिल से चाहो तो जन्नत कर देती है. So as
पूरी कायनात आपको मिलती है.
Absolutely.
Yeah, correct.
And so many times I have actually experienced that. As long as you have real strength in wishing what you're wishing,
Yeah.
and you put a lot of energy behind it, it happens. So now I'm
Very, very
concluding that if it doesn't happen, then possibly I haven't put enough energy.
Enough energy.
That's the conclusion.
So let me start by asking you, why are you called the corporate monk?
It's a name, honestly, given to me by a few people who possibly love me, who like me. And because I bring to through whatever discussion we are doing, whether it is business, whether it is society, relationship, I always try and bring everybody in the golden mid zone. I always say there is sweet spot of balance, be it business, be it relationship, be it whatever you're talking about. There's always one extreme, second extreme, and there is always the best zone which is in between. So balancing is very important in everything. So I've been talking about balancing your material drive, your professional drive. Everybody wants to grow as an entrepreneur or a businessman or a professional, and nothing wrong with that. You have your own desires, but at the same time, and I believe that every human being fundamentally is a good human being.
Right.
There's nobody bad. Situations may make them do few things that some of the people in the ecosystem find them cunning, some of them find cruel, some of them find cutthroat. But you are a villain in somebody's story, you are always a hero in somebody's story. So who decides good and bad and right and wrong? So fundamentally, I believe every human being is good, and they want to be good, they want to have empathy, they want to help others. So where do we lose it then? Why today the whole generation is stressed? We are impacted with contradictions, the too much demand, too much speed that we have in life. I was born and I grew up in an age where neighborhoods were long term, friendships were long term, neighbors were open door, good and bad both. Again, like I said, but there was so much good in that which is all lost. Today you have vulnerability in opening up with anybody, because you think, what if it is used against me tomorrow? So you become so lonely, and that adds to a lot of stress. So I find people have gone to one extreme of materialism, of isolation, of cellular living, and then I try and bring them into that mid zone where I help them get convinced that yes, I can still be a good human being, I can still have my spiritual intact, I can still have empathy and not pursue my material drives and desires. So ऐसा थोड़ी है कि हर एक को कुछ भगवा वस्त्र पहन के हिमालय में जाना है if you want to be good. So I think that's why people say, with my strong corporate background, 35-37 years, where I talk business, balance sheet, cost, competition, and then I talk about being spiritual, so people say you're corporate monk.
तो आपकी लाइफ में ऐसा कब स्टेज आया in the 36-37 years when you actually started realizing that there needs to be a balance?
I felt it ever since I started, honestly. Okay. It was pretty early in my life that because of some good people who walked into my life when I was a teenager, I started reading books of Vivekananda ji and J. Krishnamurti ji when I was a teenager. And again, talking about the balance, it pushed me to the other side. While I was a student, I had to look at the whole life and I had to make my parents happy, I had to make them proud and do good living for myself. I started losing interest in materiality because I started reading that. And then I realized that no, I need to hold on to it. So I closed my closet, kept it inside. Okay. But you know that वो संस्कार जिसको बोलते हैं वो वे हमेशा थे.
Right.
And now that phase of life has moved up, I have possibly come in a zone where most of my responsibilities, material responsibilities, family commitments are done. मैंने वो कबर्ड खोल दी वापस कुछ साल पहले. And I said, Vivekanand ji, come back in my life. J. Krishnamurti ji, come back in my life. So वो हमेशा at the back of my mind तो था ही. Now that I have actively gone into pursuing that balance and helping people do.
So now you think that there is a way to actually, one doesn't have to close those doors of spiritualism to head towards materialism.
Absolutely.
You can do it together.
Yes.
तो आप जब young founders को help करते हैं, I believe that you do a lot of work just pro bono.
जी.
What is in it for you?
Value creation. There is a purpose why every human being is born. I believe I have found my purpose because I get a very strong calling that my time to live for myself is over now. And I get a very strong message from inside that now I have to live for others. Life has given me so much. I have taken from this world so much, whether it is my industry, whether it is this world. In my age of 57 years, career of 37 years, I got so much. Ups, downs, learning, success, failures. And it's my time to give it and put a multiplier in the society. I have to help hundreds of people succeed now. So that is what I'm doing. And pro bono because I essentially pick up those founders who do not come from favorable background. They do not have in their close ecosystem anybody who will handhold. If they go to a professional mentor, they'll say, these are my fees. And correct. These guys are struggling to make their ends meet. They have a concept. They don't know how to go to next step, step one. From where are they going to pay these fees? It's like killing a chicken before it is born. So every time they say, sir, what will you charge us? I say, you succeed. It doesn't matter to me whether I get anything. When you succeed, when you become, let's say, Amazon, then we'll see. But
So आप जब इन founders को pick करते हैं, what is it that you look for in them? What kind of concepts? What kind of people?
One thing, as I said, I try and do intervention or mentoring to those founders who do not have favorable ecosystem. They do not have two aunties and two uncles to call and sort it out, kind of. Tomorrow, for example, if my son has to start a startup, it is much easier for him compared to one of these founders whom I mentor, because they have brought up with me, they have been exposed to all the business world, they have heard from me, right? My friends are their ecosystem. So it's not so difficult for them. But what about these guys? If nobody helps them, their talent, their passion, their hunger, and possibly an opportunity for a successful company to come in the economy of India will die.
Okay.
So, and then also I try to know directly or indirectly from them, why do they want to become founders? Why do they want to do startup? And if I get one single plain answer that they want a lot of wealth very early, then I do not work with them. But if I see that they are trying to solve some problem, they are trying to improve some corner of a society, and they think that, okay, I want to grow definitely, and nothing against wrong in material prosperity, as I said, that has to be fundamental part of business. But if they see that along with my growth, I am seeing growth of many other facets of society. I want to help ecosystem grow with me. So that's a good cause, and that is where I believe when you have an aggregation of desire with goodwill of so many people, that's when the blessings also will come.
Okay, but do you think just the drive to make a lot of money is not the right way to start a business?
Nothing wrong, but that's not my calling.
Okay. But if somebody has that calling, then good for
Absolutely.
them. तो आपने ये जो books लिखी हैं, you've written some beautiful books which are meant to be read by founders. तो ये जो books हैं, ये किस तरह के founders को target करती हैं? Because obviously they're not targeted towards people who are not very educated. Do you also mentor young founders who are not very educated?
I haven't come across anybody so far, but I'm open to that. So the founders that I'm mentoring right now are all educated graduates, engineers, or maybe chartered accountants.
Okay.
But doesn't mean that if tomorrow somebody is HSC fail and has a good idea, has a lot of hunger, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It's just that I haven't found yet.
So give me an example of one founder, a concept that you're helping build.
I don't know whether they would like me to talk about because they are all in the early stage.
Okay.
If I talk about their concept, it could possibly be copied premature.
Right.
So I'm not sure. But just to give you a span, they are from food to product to services to not pharmaceutical, cosmetics, herbal cosmetics. So it is not that it is only techie, because I come from that background.
I was just going to ask.
Yes.
There must be a lot of techies.
Absolutely. But I essentially say to everybody that today or tomorrow, maybe at step 1 or step 2, you will have to think about bringing technology layer, because that's what is a game changer. For example, Ola, Uber, Zepto, these, if you ask me, from startup, from innovation point of view, these are lower pyramid, because this is not somebody has developed a GPU, right? It's not that somebody has developed a semiconductor technology. So if you really see from technology point of view, these are lower end, but these are success stories.
Right.
So what has happened is cabs were there from your childhood, my childhood, cabs were there. Those are still cabs, same cabs. But you brought a technology layer like Ola, Uber. Right. And then you change the game. The control came to customer. Now you don't go and search. You don't go down at 2:00 afternoon, stand sweating under sun and look for cab. You book it, sit in your AC home or office, and cab comes to you. Of course, there are some things like cabs are getting cancelled and 10 other things. But because of the technology layer, the whole thing changed, right? So one of the founder is doing a service that you and me use everyday basis in a very conventional manner. And there is an opportunity to put a technology layer, aggregate it, and maybe make it pan-India as it grows. So
do you also help them look for investors or invest yourself in the businesses?
I have an ability to invest little myself. I'm not a very wealthy person, so I do little bit of investment initially that they need to possibly survive for first few months, 6 months, 1 year, whenever possible. And then when they reach a stage where they need phase 1, phase 2 funding, I'm trying to build an ecosystem, become part of that ecosystem for last 2, 3 years for them, so that when they need, I should have access to investors, and I should be able to put an interface between them. So now I'm becoming a part of such meets, such networks, so that when these guys need funding, I know where to go.
राइट और ये बताइए कि ऐसा सुनते हैं कि कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में तो फाउंडर बनना है तो सारी ज़िंदगी जो है साइड में रखो, यू हैव टू बी कट थ्रोट, एंड लाइक यू इनिशियली सेड कि आजकल लोग शेयर नहीं करते हैं किसी के साथ, एंड यू आर ऑल्सो नॉट कंफर्टेबल शेयरिंग समबडीज आइडिया बिकॉज चोरी हो जाता है. इवन इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स में पीपल होल्ड बैक इन्फॉर्मेशन, दे डोंट वांट टू शेयर व्हाट दे आर बिल्डिंग, तो ये जो कट थ्रोट की जो मेंटालिटी है, इज इट रियली ट्रू? Do you really need to be that cutthroat and competitive in order to succeed?
You need to become, but I always think that there is a space for you to think broader. You can be cutthroat, you can think narrow, or you can, for example, I'll tell you one of the examples of what I did long time back. There was some raw material we were buying at certain price because our buy size was X. And I figured out that if my buy size was X into 2 or X into 3, I would get certain advantage in pricing, and that would substantially change the game of numbers in our business where I was working for. I was head of commercial. So I did something which was very, very lateral, and initially there was resistance from my CEO. I said, we have a competitor. They also buy less than X. We buy X. If we combine the volume and possibly if we buy more, we have cost of money because you pay upfront and then you have inventory, which means you have to have storage. So if I evaluate that cost and look at how much we will save, it is worth doing. So he says, how can you work with competitor? I said, think broad. You can compete in the market, nothing stops you. But if both of you are able to cut, and again, if I'm buying X quantity, if my competitor is buying X by half, I have the larger advantage. And then I also did an arrangement that let's say we save $1, they will pay us 0.25 because it's my initiative, my effort. So that also I made like a revenue stream. You will hardly find anybody thinking like this. So I always believe that you can connect dots, you can aggregate, you have to be cutthroat, but this is also a way of being cutthroat.
Absolutely.
You create an opportunity which was not there through your shrewd thinking, but this shrewd thinking is not asking me to cut somebody's throat. I'm bringing people together and creating an opportunity.
Right. Wow, that's a brilliant thought.
Yeah. So I always say that you have binocular, you can look at it from this side or this side. You flip it, you learn, right? Most of the times we see from one side of the binocular, but you can see it from the other side also. Sometimes you need to take the picture away, create distance. Sometimes you need to bring it up. So
as per situation, as per business, as per everything,
true.
circumstances.
Correct.
So tell me, in your experience, what are the top 3 mistakes that young founders make nowadays?
They get too much attached to their idea.
Okay.
They do not challenge their own idea enough. And I ask them, is this your 120th idea? Is this your 260th idea, for example? Because that process must happen. It is impossible that you will get, extremely rare that you will get first idea which will be marketable, which will be sustainable, which will make good business sense. So you'll get one idea. As an idea, it will be good, but it will not make business sense. So you have to do a lot of chutney. You have to do a lot of critical thinking, dispassionate. Don't fall into love of your idea. Don't make it your child. So that is very necessary. You get an idea, love that idea, and then immediately isolate yourself from it and look at it from a third person. Will it work? Is this sustainable? Is this really what I want to do? What are the pitfalls where it may land in kind of potholes later? And I let them do that. If I notice that this exercise has not happened, I tell them, forget about it. Generate 5 more ideas. Come to me. Maybe you yourself will say that, no, I don't want to do this. This is a better idea.
But how important is it to be passionate about the idea that you want to build?
Extremely important. For a founder, extremely important. Because you will get denials, you will get humiliations, you will get refusals from all your stakeholders. Your first customer will be extremely difficult, second will be little less difficult, third will be little lesser difficult, fourth will come to you. But first 1, 2, 3 customers are going to be difficult. Your first 1, 2, 3 investors are going to be very difficult. You will have to meet 100 investors. 99 of them will not say yes. They will find flaws in your idea. They will ask you a lot of questions. They'll say, no, it does not make sense. I don't want to put money. So if this kind of puts you down, you get depressed, you say, no, it's not going to work, then that's end of the road. So you really have to be extremely passionate, extremely fired. And if that idea is not fully sold to yourself, how are you going to sell it to somebody else? For a founder, that confidence that comes through his belly behind his idea, that fire that comes saying that I know this will happen and I'll make it happen, whether with you or somebody else, that actually is what convinces a customer or an investor.
Or an investor. But how does one decide कि ये मेरा पागलपन है? Like you're saying कि इतना भी blind नहीं होना चाहिए that you don't know what's working. Let it be your second, third, fourth, 10th, 100th idea.
Correct.
How do you know that right now this is my madness, too much passion, and no, this is now where I should draw the line. I should understand.
Right. So I think it is a mix. Again, coming to the balance of gut, it has to be very, very strong gut combined with rationality.
Okay.
So when you feel that it is my extremely strong gut, और मुझे ये जो हमने कहा कि वो कायनात कर देगी kind of, then you sit outside of that ring. You say, okay, this is my idea, and now I'm thinking 360 degrees around that idea. I want to be a critic. I want to be its enemy. And say that why is it not going to work? Then you prepare a risk register of that idea.
Okay.
You talk to a few people. Like if they get me, then I'll give my viewpoints. We actually write down what will work, what will not work, what may happen, what scenarios may emerge,
Wow, okay.
what are our solutions to that.
Okay.
And then you realize that what is your probability of success? If your probability, and again, nothing wrong. For example, every child that today sets out to play cricket, I'm saying cricket because that's most common in India. Everybody wants to be Virat Kohli and Tendulkar and Kapil Dev and Gavaskar. How many of them become? But does it mean that no child should see that dream? But that dream actually is going to create many other players. Every player that wants to, every child that wants to become Tendulkar, if they don't become, they will at least become Pandya. They will at least become Jadeja, right? So where do you get these from? If everybody says that, no, but 10 करोड़ बच्चे खेलते हैं उसमें से एक तेंदुलकर बनेगा, what is the probability? No, मुझे जाना ही नहीं है. तो that's the end of the
तो वहाँ पे आपका passion is important.
Passion is important, and then you have to give it all what it takes and be ready. That is where the spirituality of life comes. कि what is my joy? My joy is that name, fame, money out of it, or my joy. If you hear Tendulkar right up to the day of retirement, he used to say, I'm enjoying my game. I'm playing because I'm enjoying. So for him, everything else that came with it was secondary. Correct. It was important, no doubt, but it was secondary. So if you are with your idea, if that idea is your love, once you have done the rationality check, as I said, and that's your main pleasure, then secondary will come. And it is not really a first and most important thing for you. Like, for example, you are doing this series of podcasts. I'm sure you are enjoying this.
Absolutely.
You have succeeded. You have done amazingly well. That I'm 100% sure it's a wonderful byproduct for you. But most important, in the center of this whole thing, you are enjoying what you're doing. You're meeting different people. You're getting their viewpoints. You enrich yourself as a person through every interview.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, so, you got it.
Absolutely. So it is exactly like that. Right. If I ask you why do you do what you do, is not because you want to get that name, fame, success that you got.
Correct.
Because you enjoy what you're doing and you think you're growing through it as an individual, as a person.
And adding a lot of value to other people's lives as well. So tell me कि आजकल हम सुनते हैं कि it's never too late. Do you think it's sometime too late to start a new business? Is there a certain age which is your last benchmark? कि इसके बाद अभी कुछ नया मत try करो.
Majority of the people will believe so, but there will be some outlier cases who will prove exceptions are there. But there are exceptions.
Okay.
Do you want to play that game where you could be an outlier, you could be exception, which means your probability as you pass certain age, certain stage of life, which is a natural zone of success for an opportunity. For example, अगर किसी को मॉडल बनना है,
हाँ.
तो I know a couple of guys who became model after 60.
Correct.
But how many are they? One or two. What is the sample size? What is the probability? So, possible or not? Most of the things in life possible. What is the probability? That is important. Now, if the probability is less, do you want to still play that game and enjoy the journey, even if the outcome is not in favor of... मुझे अगर suppose इंडिया का top 1 मॉडल बनने की ख्वाहिश है, अगर नहीं बना अभी, suppose senior models, post 60, अगर मैंने, if I pursue that path, and if I become a model, I get some assignments, I enjoy that journey, and I don't become number 1, am I okay for that? Then I should start that. If you are too attached to that one goal that you have decided कि नहीं मुझे यही चाहिए, you will not enjoy the process, you will not enjoy what. So अगर आपने 200 रन नहीं बनाए और 190 बनाए, तो 10 रन मिस होने का थोड़ा सा ख्वाहिश तो what do you say, सॉरो तो रहेगा
जी.
बट इफ यू हैव जीरो प्लेजर आउट ऑफ 190, भाई आपने 190 रन बनाए ना, बट यू मिस 200, यस यू विल फील बैड, बट 190 तो बने ना. तो इफ यू आर लिविंग इन दिस बोथ थॉट्स कि यस मुझे 200 बनाना है लेकिन 190 बने तो भी I enjoyed it.
But what about people who are not getting that balance that they really want? Okay, let's say somebody is 40, 45, 50 maybe. 45 समझ लेते हैं, जब बच्चे जो हैं वो बहुत बड़े नहीं हुए हैं, काम भी जो है जॉब इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज एजुकेशन इज स्टिल गोइंग ऑन, घर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी है, लेकिन वो बैलेंस नहीं बन पा रहा है अपनी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में क्योंकि खुशी नहीं मिल रही है. नॉट लाइक यूर सेइंग यू ऑल्सो नीड टू बी हैप्पी विद डूइंग व्हाट यूर डूइंग. तो वो 190 रन्स बन रहे हैं लेकिन खुशी नहीं आ रही है, मुझे कुछ और करना था लाइफ में, तो उन्हें शुरू करना चाहिए कुछ और. व्हाट इज़ द काइंड ऑफ रिस्क दैट दे शुड calculate?
I think it is learning. Till the time you are able to do what you love, you also have to learn to love what you're doing.
Okay.
Everybody may not be able to do what they love every day. इतनी तो आसान जिंदगी तो नहीं हो सकती है ना हर एक की every day. So till the time you hit that spot where you're doing what you're loving, before that you have to keep on trying to love what you're doing.
But isn't that a compromise then?
No, it's a way of looking at it.
Okay.
It's not a compromise. Compromise is something why should you, I'll ask you a question. Why would you call it a compromise and not a better way of looking at it?
So see, there is like you're talking about gut feeling. If you get a gut feeling that ये चीज़ मुझे, it's nice, or I want to do something else, but I'm bored of it. I want to grow in life. I feel that this is making
Absolutely.
me stagnated, but I really need the income. I really need the security, the job security. Then I'll feel कि अगर मुझे करना पड़ रहा है क्योंकि मुझे job security चाहिए, तो फिर वो compromise हो जाएगा.
So two things.
Yeah.
You want to do something different? Go all out, take all the risk, stop what you are not doing and not liking, stop it. Are you able to take that risk? Jump into the pool before you know swimming, before you have the lifeguard, and then say that once I'm in the water, I'll swim. Do you have that in you? Or the second is, start taking steps, small steps, build up what you want to do.
Okay.
Keep your secure zone till then. आपके हाथ में लकड़ी है, आपको जंप करना है पानी में, जंप करिए, लेकिन लकड़ी रखिए, right?
Okay.
But at the same time you can say जब तक लकड़ी है तब तक स्विमिंग भी नहीं आएगा, तो आपको लकड़ी फेंकनी पड़ेगी. When do you want to throw the wood? Do you want to throw it while you're on the bank before you jump? Or do you want to throw it once you think, okay, कम से कम मैं तैरना, मतलब ऊपर रहना तो पानी के सीख गया हूँ. You know, so it's all your call.
That's a very difficult call to make.
Yes, yes.
I think I would be the one to throw the stick and jump.
Fantastic.
तो ये बताइए कि after a certain age, let's say if there is a founder who's a young founder at 40 and there's a founder who's a young founder at 25, do you think there's a difference in their approach at these because of the age difference?
If I isolate the change in the generation, and if I possibly think 25 and 40 of 30 years ago, जहाँ पे rate of change was not so fast. मतलब what I mean is possibly my grandfather and my father were not too different.
Okay.
Despite the generation be different.
Okay.
My father and me in possibly my first 20-30 years were not a lot different. But me 2 years back and me today in this world which is so fast changing is totally different, right?
Okay.
So if you look at the psyche, the thinking in which the Gen Z and maybe guys who are in their 30s today are born, vis-a-vis us, it's a lot different. Their thinking DNA is different. Their belief system, their desires, their willingness to do sacrifices for that is very, very different. Another thing is, people of my time, or maybe everybody, has to understand today that when you say experience has value, you need to recalibrate that experience all the time, and particularly when the change is so fast. Because अगर बाहर की दुनिया, मैं कल बाहर था, I have taken experience of the entire day yesterday, I came, slept. Next morning, if the macro environment has changed, तो मेरा experience तो asset तो नहीं, burden हो गया ना.
Okay.
Because मैं मेरा experience लेके बाहर जाऊँगा, and the world has changed.
Okay.
So it is very important for everybody to understand today that your experience can become an asset provided you keep on recalibrating, refreshing it.
Wow, that's something really, really wonderful you just said. I mean, I've never looked at it like that, but that's so true.
Yes.
Aaj, even I think if you keep business aside and you talk about parenting, all the parents that I know, and me myself included, we always talk about how experienced we are without actually understanding that experience, has it been calibrated?
Absolutely.
Or not. So, do you also work with the women founders?
I haven't got an opportunity yet. Maybe you will be the first one, I guess.
But would you say that there is a difference between the way women approach things and men approach things?
I think so.
How?
Today, I think women are, and this is not negative. This is not, I'm saying in a tone of criticism. It's just an observation. Have become first time in possibly last so many centuries individualistic. They live for themselves. What matters to them is me, my priorities, the way I want to live, what I wear, what I think. Whether that point where they are, whether that is good for them, good for, it's all debatable, right? But if you see women 30 years back, 50 years back and today, they are a lot different. They are far more confident, they are far more fired up. They want to do any kind of sacrifice. They don't really worry whether they're married, they have children. More and more girls I'm seeing of younger generation, they don't care, right? Of the older social kind of construct. So I think they are more demanding. They are very self-aware. Possibly in some cases I feel that a better balance is required. बिकॉज जैसे मैंने कहा कि हर चीज़ के दो एक्सट्रीम होते हैं, बार बार मैं वही कहता हूँ कि हर चीज़ में देयर इज़ अ गोल्डन पॉइंट. और मैं देख रहा हूँ कि मेन टुडे आर चेंजिंग अगेन, बिकॉज मेन पॉसिबली आर टेकिंग मोर फैमिली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, दे आर becoming more and more supportive to their partner. I won't call spouse because it could be partner, it could be spouse, it could be friend, whatever. They are becoming better dads, they are becoming more active dads, right? So I think a lot of change in that, and that is helping women to do better, desire more, go after their ambitions with a lot of intensity.
So in a way you're saying कि वहाँ पे भी man and woman relationship में भी एक balance type का आ गया है, जहाँ women the role that a woman was supposed to play as a homemaker is being shared by the man, and the man who was supposed to be the breadwinner is now being shared by the woman.
Absolutely.
तो जब एक महिला जब एक founder बनना चाहती है and she wants to start her own business, do you think the drive is more fiery because of this? That I've just woken up and I've just stood on my own feet and I'm independent?
Yes.
Does that help a business, or is that...
Of course. And they are more cutthroat in my opinion now.
Okay.
The younger woman who is in profession or an entrepreneur is more cutthroat, is sharper in her aim. I mean, she's so focused, like वो अर्जुन वो चिड़िया के आँख.
हाँ, मछली की.
Sorry, मछली के, I'm sorry. So, cut the clutter. This is what I want. Everything is noise. Everything else is noise. मेरे लिए ये म्यूजिक है, बाकी सब noise है. ये मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव है, बाकी सब डिस्ट्रैक्शन है. I think women are very clear about it now.
Correct. And also tell me, not gender specific, any founder, आप क्या advice देना चाहेंगे किसी को जो कुछ नया शुरू करना चाहता है?
Identify an idea that is scalable and sustainable for the next at least 10 years.
Okay.
If you get a horizon of 10 years, you can always adapt or laterally shift within that tenure. But you must have, and that is very difficult today because, as I said, the things are changing so fast. कल जो चीज़ applicable थी आज applicable नहीं, आज है वो कल नहीं है. So how do you really decide what has a longevity horizon, which idea for next 10 years? So you need to have a lot of thought behind it. Because आप बहुत मेहनत करोगे और 4-6 महीने में आइडिया पेरिश हो जाएगा. The things, like for example, I was a founder few years back. I did some product which was vehicle tracking system, which gave you access to, control to track your vehicle wherever you are, cut off the fuel, track the vehicle, lot of things. And I did that much ahead of time and didn't survive. So possibly if you're doing something too ahead of time, you have to understand that you have to concept sell. Maybe you will not find critical volume of business very easily. तो मुझे वो बंद करना पड़ा क्योंकि there was no takers. Because I was too early. अगर वो प्रोडक्ट मैं आज लाता तो possibly it would have been fitted into every car by now.
I can say the same about my podcast. I started it, Candid Confessions. I started in 2015 and it didn't work at that time. People were not ready for podcasts. किसी ने सुना ही नहीं था क्या होता है podcast. Everybody used to call it a chat show or a talk show. And I think it was just not the right time. Although sometimes I feel, and tell me if I'm wrong, कि अगर if you started something ahead of time, if you can just sustain it till the right time comes, it would have been a game changer.
Absolutely right. But you need sustenance. One is mental. Second is your pockets need to help you sustain. And once that happens, you set out a lead for yourself because then you are the leader. You are the early entrant. You created that market, right?
Right. Like we did with the fiction content that we create. We were the first ones to create sitcom on digital, on YouTube and Facebook. And we became the pioneers and we became the number one leaders in that whole
So then
segment.
you get respected and recognized as a trendsetter. You are the one who started that. And then you have the lead that you can carry on and build on.
But I think SIT was a business for me which did not come with a lot of thought in terms of how to monetize it. It just came with a lot of passion. And because we made it with passion, people devoured it with passion as well. Everybody loved it as much as watching, as much as we made it. We loved creating it. So my question is कि ये तो चलो फिर भी it's like one of those exceptions, I would say, without planning, जो हो गया, and then we learned along the way. But how important is for a founder to understand aptitude in terms of emotional aptitude and business aptitude, and what is that balance that they need to maintain कि aptitude मेरा कितना है vis-a-vis नहीं मुझे तो ये करना है. Like tech business है for example.
Correct.
Obviously you need to be a techie to do a tech business.
Correct.
But if it's a generic business,
Correct.
how do you understand कि this is my space?
Correct. आपकी अनसर्टनिटी हैंडल करने की एपेटाइट, रिस्क एपेटाइट, सेटबैक्स हैंडल करके वापस आ जाने की इंटेंसिटी की एपेटाइट, राइट? यू विल बी नॉक डाउन, यू विल बी पंच्ड, यू विल बी पुश्ड बैक. सो हाउ मेनी टाइम्स विद द सेम इंटेंसिटी? आई ऑलवेज से दैट if I decide that I will never give up, first of all, I will never give up in some situations is not a right strategy, because if I'm banging my head on a wall and when I realize that it is not going to produce any other result than breaking my head whatever number of times I do, it is better to quit. Right. But I always say, when you quit, don't quit and stop there. Quit, change the goal,
change something,
change the path, right? Which means again you're not quitting. You're just changing the path. So I'm saying, I always say to everybody that once you decide that if I'm punched, if I'm put down, before the count of 10, if I stand back, the match starts. The minute the match starts, I have an opportunity to win. So every time if I come back, the match will result into my victory. Then if or not I will succeed becomes when I will succeed.
Okay.
So the minute you put that in your DNA that I will never give up, then will I succeed becomes when will I succeed.
Then it's a matter of time.
Absolutely.
Okay. And tell me
Does
how...
it make sense?
Absolutely. It absolutely makes sense, because if you're banging your head against a wall and you realize, it's important for you to realize that this is only breaking my head. So let me take a step back and maybe get a something to hit the wall with, so that my intention is to break the wall, not my head. So absolutely. ये बताइए कि किसी भी business को start करने से पहले कितना important होता है कि I want to have the first movers advantage in this, so I don't want to waste time, I want to dive into it. Vis-a-vis, I want to first do my entire planning on paper, everything should be ready, और planning के चक्कर में time ज़्यादा लग गया है.
Correct.
So what is more important, to save that time and just dive, or to have a proper planning in place?
I think both strategies work in their own spaces. There's nothing wrong, nothing right. Wherever you think change is too much and you don't have resources or appetite or time to go through the whole cycle and be with it, then it is better to step back, wait and watch, let somebody do it and learn from it.
Okay.
Your stakes are less, your cost is less, your time is shorter. Of course, you don't get that leader recognition.
Right.
But there have been cases where somebody made a second entry, third entry, and have become a market leader. We have seen those cases, right? So it all is about how much meter reading you get of uncertainty, to what extent you think you have time with you, you have deep pockets with you to go through that. Because uncertainty means what? You will fail more times, you will not get the outcome that you want, which means more time, more effort, more money.
I absolutely understand what you're saying, but my question to that is कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है that when you start something new which you do not have the expertise in, so to speak, कि अब नया business शुरू कर रहे हैं आप, तो you're bound to make mistakes.
Yes.
You're bound to make mistakes and learn from them. So no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you put it down on paper, you will still make mistakes. 100%. Does it still make sense for you to have a proper plan in place before starting? गलतियां तो होंगी.
Absolutely. If anybody says that I want to start with zero error, zero mistake, then it is. I mean, you're in some paradise which is not real. It is not possible. So mistakes होंगे, setbacks होंगे, but every mistake, I believe that there is nothing total waste in life. हर चीज़ में आपको, that doesn't mean you have to be a learner through failures. We always say that मैंने success से सीखा नहीं है. मैंने फेलियर से सीखा, मैंने मिस्टेक से सीखा. So that is good for your education. But does it mean that all your life you want to get educated? No.
Right.
You also want to ultimately be successful.
Right.
So हर एक चीज़ की एक लिमिट है. But फेलियर के लिए रेजिस्टेंस नहीं होना चाहिए, सेटबैक के लिए, मिस्टेक के लिए रेजिस्टेंस नहीं होना चाहिए. But therefore you cannot say that I will keep on doing mistakes because I am learning, I am happy.
Right.
Because
so there has to be a certain balance that you maintain there as well. कि इतना risk, इतना mistakes का scope है, I should keep my options open कि यहाँ से मुझे सीखने का मौका मिलेगा.
Again, balance.
हाँ, but ultimately it's a business. It's not just a learning experience.
Absolutely.
How would you say the social media culture today is defining success and failure for people? तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब मैं Instagram खोलती हूँ, बहुत सारी motivational reels सुनती हूँ. एक इंसान कुछ और बोल रहा है, दूसरा इंसान कुछ और बोल रहा है, तो रोज़ मेरे फंडे जो हैं वो चेंज होते रहते हैं. कोई बोल रहा है लाइक यू आर सेइंग डाइव इन, कोई बोल रहा है नहीं डोंट डाइव इन, कोई बोल रहा है कि स्ट्रैटेजी इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट, कोई बोल रहा है टाइमिंग इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट, कोई बोल रहा है फेलियर इज़ द फर्स्ट स्टेप टू सक्सेस, कोई बोल रहा है ये किसने बोल दिया फेलियर नहीं होना. सो आई मीन हाउ डज वन डिफाइन सक्सेस and failure, looking at all this information being thrown at them from successful people around? Does it impact them?
I think I'll try to keep it simple. I most of the times try to avoid jargons, use metaphors, because it makes the point very easy to say and to receive. It's like you walk into a buffet where you have thousands of items. You're going to eat what you want and as much you can eat. You have one opportunity to eat in that buffet. You cannot go there every day. So what will you do?
Right. You'll just eat what you want.
What relates to you?
What fits into your diet, maybe health.
Absolutely. Yeah. So does it mean that something which is there which you don't eat is not right, is not good? There may be 10 other things which you like, but you will take what you like more or what possibly you need that day. If you are driven by your diet, if you are driven by your nutrition, you will look at from that angle कि मुझे इसमें क्या चाहिए. If I am a foodie, I love Italian. मुझे Italian दिखा तो today I say my Italian day. So I'll just go to Italian counter. They may be Mexican. They may be. I'll not go there. So can you walk into a buffet and eat everything? No. Does it mean that rest other things are bad? No, they are not. They are good. But you choose what relates to you.
Okay, that was very casually put. It reminds me of a very simple example. I was out yesterday for a meeting and I usually like to chat with the servers at a restaurant. We were for a breakfast meeting. तो मैंने कॉफ़ी पीनी थी और मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा आप बताइए क्या पीऊँ, कैपुचिनो पीऊँ कि ब्लैक कॉफ़ी पीऊँ. He looked at me and he smiled and he said, आपका क्या मन है? I said, he said आपकी डाइट में क्या फिट हो रहा है,
हाँ,
आपका
see?
क्या मन है बताइए. So I said डाइट बोल रही है ब्लैक कॉफी लेकिन मन बोल रहा है कैपुचिनो. So him and the guest, both of them together said have cappuccino. And I
Wow.
ended up having cappuccino. It was great. It was the best coffee I ever had. So I think yeah, you're right. At that given point of time when you're watching
Yes,
something,
correct.
how are you relating to it is the most important
Correct.
question. But let's talk a little bit about your books. You've written 3 and you're on your way to the 4th one.
जी.
बताइए मुझे उनके बारे में, और जो चौथी है वो तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, उसके बारे में ज़रूर बताइए.
Right. So the first one is again at least these 3 books are part of my delivery vehicle, which I'm using to spread the message,
Right.
give illustrations, help people understand by examples, stories, because everybody likes stories. So I'm trying to do little storytelling through that. But a message is delivered that you can live multifaceted, you can live in the best zone, how to do this also and that also without going to extremes. So first book is The Monk Who Didn't Have to Sell His Lamborghini. As you can feel from the name, it says that you can still have your material pursuits intact, you can still have all those desires, but don't get lost too much. Many times what happens, you lose context. Your means become your goal.
Okay.
That's when you lose it. You need a car for going from one place to the other, or you need a vehicle for going from one place to the other. That vehicle becomes car becomes Mercedes becomes Bentley. Is that your goal? Or are you able to afford it and therefore you will take it? So today you have families where a family of 4 has 4 iPhones, but they don't have health insurance. So what are your priorities? What are your balances? So understand that. So when your means becomes your goal, your purpose, that's when you lose it. Okay. Right? So I have tried to do that messaging. It's a book of 50 independent stories because everybody is short of time today. So I thought if you have 4 or 5 minutes, you read one story, it gives you one bullet.
Okay.
When you get time, maybe after 2-3 days, you need another chapter, which is independent story. It gives you one kind of bullet or capsule.
Okay.
The second one is the corollary of that, or maybe flip of that, is I sold my Mercedes at loss and got rich.
Okay.
So this is about all unsung heroes that we see around us if we want to see them, if we learn to notice them. And they give a lot of profound inspiration to us. They are source of inspirations and we don't even know about them. I mean, you may have housemaids, you may have a driver, you may have a vada pav wala who are doing some amazing things as human beings. The battle of life, what they are doing, the cause for which they are doing, the families they are supporting, doing what they are doing is, it will have a strong inspiration for you. But so what happened is when I started progressing, prospering, I realized that without me realizing there was a bubble of prosperity around me, and I started getting disconnected from many elements of society around me. So I burst that bubble. I stopped using car and driver for a year.
Wow.
I stopped going by public transport, and not just started going by that. I started interacting with people, observing them, trying to understand them, touch their heart, listen to their stories, and that is what I have brought in the book. So which will rejuvenate your sensitivities, which will help you become a more conscious human being with mindful living, you know. So re-blossom हो जाएगा. एक अगर plant of roses has become cactus, so I want that plant to re-blossom through that book. The third is Journey to Ikigai by Shinkansen via Zen Karisansui. So we are all on a journey. When you talk about journey, there has to be a destination. So I say we are all in a way on a journey towards our own Ikigai. You have your Ikigai, I have my Ikigai. Your Ikigai today and your Ikigai 5 years ago or maybe 5 years later could be different. But today you are on your journey to Ikigai. And because the world is so fast moving, in a way we are in Shinkansen, which is bullet train, the word for bullet train in Japan. Bullet train being mainly the Japanese concept, I use that word. And I've had a lot of association with Japan, visited that place. It's fabulous. I always say that if you have visited all other countries and not Japan, you're still missing something in the world.
Okay.
It is that special. So, and while you are in a bullet train, when you are in that kind of speed, obviously you become little numb. You lose sensitivities. You lose noticing a lot of things that those you will feel or notice if you are going slow.
Right.
So I say that Zen Karisensu is again Japanese concept of dry gardens or meditating gardens. So I'm saying when you're on your journey to Ikigai in bullet train which is going so fast, don't forget to take your bullet train through those Zen gardens, pause, reconnect with universe, understand what you are, as a human being, why you are born, what can you do for the universe, what God or whatever God you pray, whatever you call it, atheist or believer, there is some energy, some
Energy
power,
that
right?
you believe in, right?
So what does it want from you? Are you doing that? Are you giving it back to the universe? And then board your Shinkansen again and start your journey.
And what is the fourth book about?
The fourth book is about the industry. So I've been in IT industry for a very long time. So I'm capturing the whole shifting landscape of Indian ITS from Y2K, which is 1999. That's when India actually started becoming a force in IT to be recognized. And then we had Y2K, then we had .com, फिर ISP, BPO, KPO, then we had modern age data center, now we have AI. So I'm capturing 99 to 2025. It will be a unique book that is not there today in the industry. Will be a very good reference book. And because I didn't want it to become technology dry or boring book or kind of chronology, I have made 5-6 characters, waved a story through them, through their interactions, through their families, what they feel. And I have also tried to create a feel to a reader about दुनिया तब कैसी थी 99 में, what was your ambience, what was your environment. Through that you start actually feeling that when you come to 2025 you feel, oh, this book has brought me here where I am, you know. So,
right, what happened when I was not there.
Correct.
Okay, to end this conversation, I want to ask you one last question. How do you define success today, not just as a corporate person, but as a human being?
Do I feel I am in my ikigai, or I'm on in the direction of my ikigai is my success? I have to be very clear about what I want, why I want. Will it work? Do I have it in me to do what I want to do? आज अगर मुझे if again giving same example, मुझे सचिन तेंदुलकर बनना है, तो बनना तो है, but I must know that मुझ में नहीं है वो, but मुझ में दूसरा कुछ हुनर है शायद. So we all many times fail to give ourselves an opportunity and experiment with ourselves to find out our own talent, because तब तक आपको आपकी इकिगाई नहीं पता चलती है. A painter, if wants to sing and wants to become Lata Mangeshkar, M.F. Hussain अगर सिंगिंग करते तो क्या हो जाता फिर? ना वो लता मंगेशकर होते, ना वो M.F. हुसैन होते. अगर लता मंगेशकर अगर M.F. हुसैन या माधुरी दीक्षित बनना चाहती तो क्या होता? सो वी ऑल्सो हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज इट फॉर अस. क्या टैलेंट है मेरे में, कहाँ मैं पहुँच सकता हूँ, एंड देन परस्यू दैट. तो दैट जर्नी, एज लॉन्ग एज यू आर एंजॉइंग, आई थिंक दैट्स सक्सेस.
Okay, that's a beautiful definition. Thank you so much for joining us on Candid Confessions. It was lovely talking to you. I hope you guys had a lot of takeaways from this conversation. For me, the most important is that the journey is the success. To understand what you're good at, to understand your strengths, to recognize your weaknesses, to understand whether you're happy doing what you're doing is also extremely important. So all this combines to become your success, and sometimes you might have to choose black coffee over cappuccino, but also deciding how much black coffee to have and how many times can you actually have that delicious cappuccino is also a balance that you need to strike. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please leave a comment and tell us what your thoughts are about it. Can I leave your details below if somebody wants to reach out to you? So I'm going to put those details down below. If you are looking to start something and need guidance, then Sandeep is here for us. And don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. You're watching Candid Confessions with Chhavi. This is both of us signing out. Love and peace from us to you.